The net of a rectangular prism and its dimensions are shown below in the diagram. Calculate the total surface area of the prism in square meters. So this is very similar to the composite figures that we've looked at. We can see this, funny looking shape that can be broken down into a bunch of different rectangles, right? Now, the thing about these nets, you have to pay attention. Some of these rectangles are the same size. So that's what I want to look for first. So when I start matching them, I see that I have these two little ones that look the same. I'm going to call those rectangle A's to try to help me stay organized. Then I see that I've got this little skinny rectangle matches this little one. We'll call those B's. And then we have the bigger rectangles on top and bottom. We're going to call those rectangle C. Okay. So what we're going to do is find the area of each one and then total it all up. They asked for the total. So first I want to pay attention to how many of each shape that I have. So y'all, we have 2 letter A's, we have 2 letter B's, and we have 2 letter C's. So I'm making myself a note up here that there's 2 of each of these shapes. So just kind of keep that in mind. I'll tell you what we need to do with that in a minute. So first we're going to find the area of each one. So we know they're all rectangles, so they all have the same formula, A equals BH, which is good. I'm going to start off with rectangle A. So again, you've got to be careful. Here's rectangle A. We see 3.5, so we know that's one of the sides. Then we need to figure out this little bitty side. So good thing about rectangles is if you follow it far enough across, you'll usually see the number. So the little side is a 2. So this is going to be 3.5 times 2, which is 7. Okay, then I'm going to do rectangle B, which is the skinny side. So we've got a 6. And again, that little short side we know is 2. So 2 times 6 is 12. And then the big rectangle C, we see 3.5. And then this is the tricky one. You have to imagine when you fold this up, these sides should touch, right? So we have 3.5. And if you look down here at this letter C, we have 6. So 3.5 times 6 is 21. Okay, but remember, there's 2 of each one of these. So this is just one of these rectangles. So what we need to do is go through and multiply each area by 2 because there's 2 of each one, if that makes sense. So 7 times 4 is 14. 12 times 2 would be 24. 21 times 2 would be 42. And then our very final step would be to add those 3 areas up to get the total of 80 meters squared. I'm going to go over one more. This has a lot of steps. You just have to work slowly and be very careful with this and make sure you know what you're looking at. So now we have a net of a square pyramid and its dimensions are shown below in the diagram. Calculate the total surface area of the pyramid in square meters. So again, we're looking for first the shapes of the figures. So we have a square on the bottom. We know it's a square because they told us in the story that this is a square. And then we've got one of those. So we'll say there's one of these. And then we've got 4 triangles that are all the same size. So again, I've got 1 square and 4 triangles. So make sure you're paying attention to that. So starting with the square, we know that square, the area for square is still base times height like the rectangle. But what you have to remember about squares is that if this one side is 5, that means all the sides are 5, right? It's a square. They have to have equal sides. So if the base is 5, the height is also 5. So 5 times 5 is 25. And there's only one of those, so we're going to leave that alone. There's only one. The triangle, we're going to get the triangle formula, 1/2 base times height, and then we're going to substitute in. So again, we see we're looking for that right angle. The base we know is 5 because it's part of the square, right? And the height is 4. So solve it however you would like to. I did 5 times 4 is 20. Half of 20 is 10, but there are 4 of them, okay? And there's only one square. So if you want to multiply that by 1, you still get 25. 10 times 4 triangles is 40, and our very last step is to add those areas together into one area of 65 meters squared.